Well, today was one of those days. I just got up from bed and just got news that Chuck Norris passed away. And I'm like, wow, this one hits really, really hard. Because if you grew up in the 80s, you know what I mean. You know, these people aren't just celebrities, they're really a big part of our life growing up. Their movies, their shows, their presence. And you kind of always felt like they were larger than life and they'll always be here. But I got the news this morning from my brother that Chuck had passed. I couldn't believe it, so I checked social media right away and I wanted this to confirm, so I checked the internet, and unfortunately, true enough, it was on all the mainstream media. And I was just flabbergasted. I mean, I knew he was old. I mean, he was 86, but I was marveling probably about a month ago about him hiking the mountains and in phenomenal shape. It's showing videos of him working out. And I thought, wow, this guy's going to live till 100. He didn't have any ailments that I knew of. And I got word today that he was suddenly fell ill and was transported to the hospital where he had passed. And it was just another reminder of, the end of an era in the 80s. And, it hits me really hard, but, when you look back, the first time, this really hit me was hearing that Michael Jackson had passed away, and then followed by Whitney Houston. But they were so young when they passed. It was more of a shock that they passed so young. But now you're getting, some of these icons, 80s icons that are passing, from ailments that they get in older age. So you see people like Eddie Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne passing away, and the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, right? When I think of Chuck Norris, I think of that 80s genre of the tough guys, Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these stars, and you kind of wonder, like, okay, who's going to be the next one? And it's not about Chuck itself. I mean, it's this pattern, and each loss of these 80s icon, is a reminder of a reminder of our childhood, the Gen X childhood. And passing of Chuck had such a profound connection to my life because it brought me back to memories when my father in 1974 took me to the drive-in to see a Bruce Lee movie with The Way of the Dragon. In North America, it's called Return of the Dragon. And that iconic fight scene between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris in the Coliseum will always be the defining moment in martial arts cinema. I mean, it was just a classic, and I still watch it to this day. I don't know how many times I have watched the movie, but watched that scene. It was just incredible. And I remember when Bruce Lee passed away, and I was so young at the time, but it really left a hole in my heart. I'm not a big celebrity chaser or anything like that, but a few of them, I really love and would actually love to meet him. I was hoping to meet Chuck Norris before he passed, because one of my things on my bucket list was to go down to a conference to finally meet him. And yeah, I still can't believe it. And I think at some point when these icons pass, you realize it's not just about them passing, it's about, how much time has passed over the years, and how much older that we're all getting. And these icons are tied to our life, our timeline, and it reminds us of a version of our younger self, and a time when everything felt like, things were fresh and life was just starting. And I think maybe that's what hits us the hardest, right? It's not just about losing them, but it's realizing, how much older we've gotten. And I don't know, I'm kind of numb to it right now, right? Because being a martial artist myself, a lifelong martial artist, I really respected Chuck Norris. I maybe didn't watch his movies as much as I watched Bruce Lee, but he was so tied to my hero Bruce Lee, and of course he later brought jiu-jitsu to the United States, which I became a black belt in. So there was stories tied to the Chuck Norris that I can relate to, because Chuck Norris was the one that gave the Machado brothers their own school, and because he had a warehouse that he owned in this area, and he didn't want to drive too far, so he allowed the Machado brothers to start a school in his building, which allowed Chuck to train closer to home, which was a really cool story. And in my lineage, jiu-jitsu lineage actually came from the Machado brothers. So it's a tough day. I can't believe it. So tell me, feel free to comment below. Tell me which 80s icons passing hit you the hardest, and why hit you the hardest. Anyways, Chuck, rest in peace. And for all of you out there, if you found this video helpful, please feel free to like, share, or subscribe, and check out my next video. All right, talk to you soon. Take care, all of you. Bye for now.